Radio at Freedom Slips.
Hey, howdy.
From 8 to 10 p.m.
I survived. You survived. Well, we made it anyway. I gotta make sure I gotta make sure I get all kind of set up because I wanted to make sure I unmute. Sometimes that happens. Just get excited and get into doing the stream instead of doing the radio show. You know, I'm just kind of, they're on two different channels, kind of, along with everything else that's going on. Hey, good morning, Darren. God bless you, brother. Whew. Oh man, I'm telling you, kind of wet and getting in the groove here. Got all the favorites set up. You know, the real big story is no duh shit. Yeah, the problem in the Middle East. And what we have here is a failure to communicate. No, we don't. There's no failure to communicate. You know, Israel doesn't give a fuck. Okay, Israel, you know. Kaboom, kaboom. Yeah, it's like Israel. If Israel isn't dropping 100 bombs a day, they just feel like they're not genociding enough poor fucking people. I'm telling you. Well, that's just a little bitty piece of the news and information that we're going to talk about this morning. About Donald Trump and the great architecture of the fragile truce in the Middle East. Fragile truce. What fucking truce? I mean, let's be honest, okay? So I got the dog chewing on a cardboard tube instead of the bone. He's got his bone down there. Man, I have to take it from him in the middle of the show, maybe, if he, you know. Oh, man, I am telling you. So, let's see. We're in a station promo. Oh, we should be getting to the intro next on revolution.radio. Great place to listen to stuff. And don't forget the archives. If you want to hear the Revolution in the Morning Show archives that go back a while, there's a short break in there, but I had to straggle out on my own in the world. I went on my own walkabout. Hey, thanks, Dave and Mecky. I saw Dave in there earlier. For your show. God bless you guys. All right, we got about 30 seconds, man. We're going to rip into it here on all the channels. Everybody, welcome everybody over there on YouTube. Welcome everybody over here on rumble.com. Yeah, man. And hey, let's not forget locals.com and even Facebook. I don't know if they're going to ban me or shadow me or whatever. I don't care. It'll all be okay because I'll just tell the truth and a few will listen and everybody says, I want the comfortable lie. Please tell me the lie. I'm sorry, I just can't tell you the lie. Yeehaw! Hey, welcome. It's time for the Revolution in the Morning Show. Live from Franklin County, Virginia. I'm your host, Mitchell Buck. Come on down and join us on revolution.radio, Rumble, YouTube, and assorted channels. You can go over there and find the Trump Assassination Files website. If you want to follow me on Facebook, it's Go On With That Bullshit, all one word. Yeah, that's a hell of a name for a Facebook page, isn't it? Anyway, so yeah. Well, let's get into it. Of course, within hours of the so-called truce in Iran with Iran and the USA and Israel. Now, what Israel said is they will stop bombing if they open up the Hormuz Strait. Well, yeah, but remember, this is supposed to be a theater-wide cessation of hostilities. Okay, this is supposed to include, Lebanon and the Gaza Strip and Israel bombing in Syria. Um, the West Bank. It is supposed to be a cessation of all aggressive Israeli activity. And of course, if you didn't know, Israel dropped 100 bombs in 10 minutes, literally putting on a huge spectacle bombing show in Lebanon yesterday. Okay, so what Iran said was, oh, okay, since we have this selective, elective, whatever truce, so-called truce on. We're going to send let's send some of our drones over there to Saudi Arabia and blow up that pipeline they've been talking about. They're so happy. They're so glad. Yeah, a pumping station in this critical pipeline pump around where they were pumping 7 million barrels a day or whatever it was, as much as they could. You can actually make those pipes bigger, and they actually carry a tad more oil. I never knew that until I actually worked on pipelines, putting pipelines in the ground. Okay, I worked on 3 different spreads, and it was very interesting work. That's what I will say. Okay, and I trust pipelines before I trust 10,000 trucks on the road. That's what I'll tell you. But anyway, these Saudi Arabia, their major pipeline going south, pumping stations. Remember that oil has to get pumps along, and you can start on one end and you can pump, but you can only pump so far with that pressure. So a oil pumping station was attacked. And blown up, and I guess they had to shut the pipeline down. But then there was attacks in Qatar and Kuwait by Iran. Yeah, Iran said, "Well, fuck it." Okay, so there were two ships went through, and then all of a sudden everybody turned around. Okay. Now, all of a sudden, everybody's talking about the checkpoint Houthi, or on one end down at the Red Sea, and the checkpoint Hormuz. That's right, where Iran is going to go cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. You can't go cha-ching, no, 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 cha-ching. As long as you're paying that $1 million crypto bounty that Iran has put on as a premium to move through the Gulf. Okay. Now, word come out yesterday. They did a head count. They said there was 800 ships that were waiting on one side trying to get out. They didn't say how many were on the outside trying to get in. That's another good question, isn't it? Are they going to have to pay a toll, loaded and or unloaded, just to go in? I don't know. So all of a sudden, there's the U.S. government, and everybody says, "Oh my God, wait! This isn't such a good thing as to have Iran have a checkpoint, and control the Hormuz Strait." So the what is it? The IMO warns the ceasefire deal, week 6 of the U.S.-Iran war, remained in doubt as Israel intensified bombing in Beirut. Tehran has kept the Hormuz Strait closed. Negotiators are preparing to meet on Friday, even as both sides have essentially declared victory. Okay? So yeah, the report of attacks on one of Saudi Arabia's Red Sea ports alongside the closure of the Straits of Hormuz did little to reassure traders. And oil prices had dropped some, but then they, on all of this great news of all of the great bombing, going on, peace bombs, And now what Pete Hegseth said, we got a lot of peace bombs we can use to negotiate with. I'm maybe not the word for word quote, but paraphrasing poor Pete. Yeah, anyway. The idea of Iran collecting a fee, basically $1 per barrel of oil that passes through the straits. Are they going to get $10 per container on a container ship? Or are they going to get $1 per container on a container ship? I guess they can hold a bunch of containers on those ships now. Shipping containers. I mean, you buy them left and right today, for $2,500. They have some really nice ones for $3, $4, $5 grand. Those at auction, I should say. But anyway, they finally realized that it's not such a good idea. No shit. Yeah, all the things the world has to worry about. The foldable iPhone hits a snag. Say won't be out for a couple more years. Well, who gives a rat's ass? Okay. The IMF is panicking and warns about the tokenization of money. That's right. The bankers are worried about crypto world, and companies and corporations literally developing their own cryptocurrencies. Yeah, it's well, let's just say it's coming because they have to kill the money. They have to reset the money. That's why they want to go digital. And even though, the U.S. government just came out and there was all this hoopla about stable coin and how stable coins will not control, how stable coins will not undermine the profitability of local banks. Something about interest on the stable coin isn't anything. I guess they're still trying to keep this firewall where they have this availability of all this money on the back end in the crypto stable coin bankster world, while on the front end we all deal in depreciating dollars. Even your digital dollars are depreciating because they only convert into what? Into greenbacks, right? Or into plastic notes like they have in many of these countries. I mean, it's crazy. Stuff doesn't even pulp up like toilet paper. Oh yeah, speaking of toilet paper, I don't think there's going to be a shortage, but you might want to check. Okay, a third-party contractor had set an entire warehouse, I think it was, of mostly toilet paper. A 100,000 square foot, one of these mega warehouses in California. just recently, caught fire. And the security footage and other footage shows one of the what do you call them? One of the third contractor employees that worked there setting the place on fire. At the same time, this guy is saying they don't pay us enough to live. And he's literally setting, I don't know if it was Charmin or paper towels, maybe, but pallets of them stacked to the ceiling in this building. And this guy just torched it up. It's pretty it's pretty fucked up, is I guess is what people are trying to say. Okay, which the truth is, it really is kind of not real good. In other crime news, ketamine queen in California has been convicted of, I guess, involuntary manslaughter in the death of Matthew Perry, who she sold Matthew Perry the ketamine drugs that so many people, I guess, were hooked up on. Yeah, so not a good thing, but it's man, it's pretty fucked up. That's what I would say. Okay. Automatic registration for the U.S. military draft to start. That's right. There you go. Eligible men will automatically be registered into the military draft pool by December. I guess that's another reason why some men want to become women. I don't know. Was it Minnesota? Minnesota passed the boners in girls' locker rooms law within their state. Literally, allowing transgendered men to shower and to use ladies' restrooms. Yeah, it's a sad thing. Okay. Yep, let's see, we got that. Just a lot of different stuff in the queue today. Wow, probably too much. Okay. News that I got in this in this thing today. Okay. So I think we're just going to go here and start and work back from current news that we got. A federal appeals court has allowed the Pentagon's designation as Anthropic, the AI. Anthropic has the Claude AI system as a supply chain risk. Okay. Now there's a court battle or whatever, discussions ongoing, but said the AI company was attempting to dictate military policy. And, really that's not something that a private company could do. I would hope, anyway. But who knows? I mean, we have Israel dictate American military policy in the Middle East. That's for shores, right? Yeah, even a 1% Bitcoin allocation can drastically reshape portfolio risk. Oh yeah, so the core message is not a warning to avoid cryptocurrency, but be aware of its role and how it's used. Um, remember, cryptocurrencies are supposed to be basically a gambling thing. Start low and they escalate. Bitcoin and Ethereum and a few other platforms have managed to have enough staying power to have enough marketable power, I guess. So, will it all? How will all that end? I don't know. It could end in an electromagnetic pulse in a flash from the sun. And everybody that thinks they have a digital something has a digital nothing. I can imagine all the fucking kids screaming in the middle of the night, "My saved games!" Really. I mean, not worried about the rest of everything else, but man, just a strange thing, okay? Yeah, J.D. Vance has warned. J.D. Vance is maybe going, not sure yet, but maybe going to Islamabad to negotiate with the Iranians with Pakistani mediators. Okay. Now, Vance warned the Iranians. It says the U.S. has all the cards, and we want the nuclear fuel. Yeah, you hear that? Now, the Russians have finished evacuating most of their personnel from the Bashir nuclear power plant in western Iran. Okay, that facility has been bombed 3 different times. None of the critical systems to maintain the fuel pool and the used fuel and the new fuel and the reactor to keep all that running, all that water moving and circulation. Because that can get out of control. That can melt just like it did in Fukushima. I'm just saying. So Vance says, yeah. So listen, all of this stuff is going to continue because Israel will not stop. They will try to say, well, Lebanon is different. The Gaza Strip is different. The West Bank is a different war. The bombing we do in Syria is a different war than the war with Iran. And no, it's not. I just don't see it as it's a whole theater of war, and you have to remember Iran was attacked into this, so I don't know what's going to happen with or without this so-called stuff. But I do know it's just absolute fucking lunacy of the world that we live in. The Irina Zartuska's accused killer down in Charlotte, North Carolina, has been found incompetent to stand trial. I believe it's mostly because he is psychotic and he actually believes that he can murder white people at will. Now, this psychopathy, I don't believe, should protect somebody from, let's just say, the electric chair or hanging, public hanging, or even, execution by firing squad, cyanide. I mean, I don't really, I really don't care. But this guy can never get out of prison, or can never be, man. It can never be allowed in a peaceful society, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, and you have to determine if it's more humane to execute them or to keep them caged all their lives. Okay, that's a question. I don't know. I guess that's where you get into this. Can they actually do? Can they actually do the sleep deep brainwashing rehabilitation? Like they theorize in some TV shows. I don't know. All I know is, these guys, can't be allowed. Predators cannot be allowed in a peaceful society. And if you have a whole community of predators, well, then you have a problem, don't you? Yeah. Well, I mean, you have a whole community of predators that go to where? Washington, D.C., and there you have it, right? Yeah. Well, it was bound to happen. People aren't stupid. People know genocide when they see it. And just because, Jews had such a rough time under Hitler, and actually, there are discussions about questions whether Jews declared war on Germany first. But anyway, I don't know. That really doesn't matter. Murder and genocide is murder and genocide. And people that do it believe that have this ultimate superiority. Well, then that's their fucking problem. But they just are not. Jews are not going to get away with the shit that they're doing today. Israel is a sea of change. That where people are seeing, Israel for the supremacists that they are. It's fucking barbaric. It is. It's barbaric the way Jews treat everybody else in the Middle East. Okay? It's barbaric how Muslims treat others in the Middle East. Okay? So you got two sets of uncivilized barbarism of people that believe that they are supremacist to you. This is the other reason why the United States should kick them all out. Muslims and Jews, okay? I know that's maybe unpopular. Maybe a lot of people don't see it, but I don't really, I just have to say the truth of the world that we live in, okay? There are, there are elements of Sharia law being practiced in the United States today. There are places where U.S. law does not, hold water, does not matter. And the further we go down that road, the harder it will be to institute reality, to institute equality and fairness. I mean, right now, we should be commanding and demanding that there be equal opportunity housing in all of these fucking Muslim growing areas in the United States. We must actually be setting aside houses so you don't have these entire communities of Somali scumbags that moved the tribe from Somalia to America and don't assimilate to anything, and then really just parasite on government services. Okay, that's some of the major things that we're seeing in the United States today. Anyway, triple the number of American adults that see through the genocide, or I got genocided smoke screen from Israel. Okay, Bibi Netanyahu and the state of Israel is more of an apartheid state than the American people could fucking imagine. And if the average American saw, average Christian American saw the actual what goes on the ground in these fucking shithole nations, they would be saying, we should send Christian missionaries, and keep them keep them away. Keep these these crazies that have never grown up in a civilized fashion. And that's what it is. But they all got polished, they're like the most polished turds that float around in the fucking world today. Because they've got the digital world. And, it's crazy. But the digital world, just like everything, once people know the game, once people know the rig, they say fuck you and fuck the system. One of the biggest lessons that is coming out in this digital controlled world is that a digital currency does not work because people will learn to avoid it the same way they avoided other types of control mechanisms, okay? The Communist Party in China with the EU yuan and all that good stuff, okay? The Chinese people know the EU yuan and all the digital Chinese currencies are tied into the social credit system. So what did the Chinese people do? They quit using the electronic system. This ultimate weapon of financial totalitarianism. So people quit using that and they use cash. So that's the other reason. That's the other reason why the Chinese went to the digital ID, facial recognition IDs and stuff, because people would pay cash. People would make sure that they would hoard money. They would hoard cash. Now, that way they didn't have to use their CCP money on certain, purchases, okay? They could go outside that system because, everywhere in the world there's a black market system. I mean, a lot of times people just use it to get drugs. But you could use it to buy all kinds of a spectrum of things and stuff. Drugs and guns, I guess, would be the most common thing. Did I hear my dog just get on that bone? No bone, baby. He's trying to chew lightly, that sounds like. The poor puppy. Here's one for you. USC, that's right. University of Southern California. That's right. Has adopted a policy of banning men from certain workout areas, I guess, on campus. The plan pushed by the LGBTQ plus group is called SAGE, the Student Assembly for Gender Empowerment, demands racism. Oh, baby doggy. Baby. Here, let me... I know it's just cardboard, but give me an hour. Well, anyway, the bone has been rescued. Yeah, I'm waiting for him to jump up there and get it one day. But anyway, let's go back here. According to the New York Post, the University of Southern Cal has essentially become, racist, bigoted, sexist, where they have allowed groups that feel offended because of somebody else's presence. I mean, isn't that just straight up, microaggressions and discriminations and all that other stuff that all of the lesbians and the gays and the bis and the trans and the queers and the pluses I mean, if you ask me, the pluses ought to be the ones that are mad because they're just a plus. They're all lumped together. They don't get their own LBGTQ, whatever groupie numbers. But they want a place designated to prevent the presence of males and from triggering women of non-binary students. Jesus Christ. I mean, this is just racism and bigotry on top of racism and bigotry that they claim that they feel when there is, just for somebody's presence. I mean, I'm sure that would be a major trigger. It would be a serious, thing if all of a sudden somebody said, okay, it's just white men on Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and twice on Thursday. Man, you would talk about you being court faster than the fucking spin dial on the lying fan of Hillary Clinton in heaven. Yeah. And people can't wait for Hillary Clinton to die. Yeah, I don't care. She is, man, she's just an evil, satanic bitch. That's what I have to say. But, yeah, can you believe that? I mean, it's hard to believe that the Trump administration or anybody would allow these types of, these types of racist policies to still exist in these days. Meanwhile, reports coming out of Texas again, where Islam is the focus. Remember last week there was questions about whether Sharia law was being practiced and all this other stuff. And well, meanwhile, there is an Islamic group that goes around and they celebrated. I swear to God, they celebrated. They went to a high school. Somebody went to a high school, and celebrated World Hijab Day. Okay, it's like head cover day of the world. They didn't invite the cowboys with their hats and the Indians with their feathers. I mean, really. Oh my God, it's like, what the fuck is wrong with people? They don't care. They racist. Here, check this out.
Why Islam? And they were giving hijabs to Muslim
Why Islam?
out throughout the high school, and they were giving out Qurans, and they also had pamphlets about Sharia law and other Islamic things, and they were giving out these bags. And I had a discussion with the women that were there, and we're trying to understand what's going on.
Like, what? How crazy is that? That's in Texas at a high school. I got so many emails last night from people in Texas saying this kind of thing is happening. An Islamic group called Why Islam was allowed to hand out free Qurans and pamphlets on Sharia law, like that's a good thing, on World Hijab Day, which is not a real thing. There's no such thing as World Hijab Day.
Hey, can you imagine if the fucking, it's unreal, man. I'm sorry. Can you imagine if they wanted to have World Christian Day? Can you imagine all the fucking satanic bastards that would jump up and scream, it's too, no, ah! Get some holy water, throw it on some pedophiles or something. They might become priests, you never know. Mitch.
And the high school allowed all of this during lunchtime. Why Islam deliberately allowed to indoctrinate kids at a public high school, which parents and students there are clearly against.
Thank you so much for promoting the Islamic radical murderers on your campus. This is not about criticizing any specific religion. This is about maintaining neutrality, fairness, and a religious boundary from education and religion.
What was passed down in Wiley East? Understanding Sharia. They're trying to put our daughters, wrap their beauty up and hide it. This is not a Muslim nation. This is a Christian nation.
This is just, it's insanity. Marco Hunter Lopez is a student at Wiley East High School outside Dallas. He brought this story to our attention.
Anyway.
He's also the president of...
Anyway, so they got good old Chip Roy. They got everybody in here, hollering and screaming, and you got Islam. Got Islam. There's even a whole brand of idiot Americans, okay? Trans Americans. Of course, they're men. They're chicks with dicks, okay? Transforming themselves and rebranding themselves as Islamic women. Really? Who can embrace the insanity? You really have to ask, what the fuck? Because, these people are nuts, okay? Meanwhile, liberals in Canada advance a bill that could criminalize quoting the Christian Bible as hate speech, but then it would also allow for jihadism and Goyanism to spread across Canada. Nah. Man, no wonder my ears just itching like fuck. It's like, what the fuck? Somebody's trying to put a bug in my motherfucking ear, I guess, man. Anyway, China now is producing $500 kamikaze drones. The Baby Shahed. Yes, the Baby Shahed. Yeah, you can order them $500 a piece off of Temu now. Okay, can you imagine that? They don't come with the warhead, but they got a 20 to 30 kilometer range, and they only cost $500. You might be able to send one to your friend, put your weed in the cone there and send it to them. Well, here's the biggest question parents are going to have to ask themselves, or you're going to have to ask yourself, if before you do the dirty deed, before you roll in the sack with a woman or a man, okay? Sorry, but sperms and sperms don't mix. Eggs and eggs don't hatch together for some reason. I don't know why. You'll have to figure that one out yourself. Raising a child today now costs about $300,000. The question is, everybody says, is it worth it anymore? Must be worth it to somebody. But I can't have 3 wives like if I'm Jewish or Islamic, I can't have 3 wives and have none of them really attached to me, and all of them collecting welfare for all of the 2 kids and the 3 kids and the 6 kids and the dozen kids that I have, are all on the golden dollar shekel deal. Welcome to America. And they wonder what the fuck is wrong with birthright citizenship. That's right. You fly over, you drop the kid bomb, and it's American. It's American. What really pisses me off is those sons of bitches that are automatically Americans. None of them get blamed for, all of the genocide of the Native Americans here. The white invasion and all of the slavery that we brought. Now, everybody should know that Native Indian tribes in America, it was very common to capture slave women, not slave men, slave women. They usually killed the men. Yeah. So understand the real world, not the liberal fantasy land that they want to try to tell you. The Save America Act is still in limbo, still sitting there and spinning its dirty, weaving words. Like you have to show an identification, proof of citizenship required. Well, man, anyway, so tucked away in the stalled Save America Act is a provision that would prevent, meant to ensure proof of citizenship requirement, even if future administrations chose not to enforce it. I guess it would be enforced by court order then, since it's a thing, right? But Trump said, "Look, I'm not signing any bills. I'm not signing anything until I get this, until I get this Save Act." Well, I guess he can do that. They still don't have the votes, and Donald Trump is he just gonna veto every bill he comes to him because it doesn't have the Save Act in it, or isn't the Save Act? Trump is saying he won't sign any bills, but look, they send some fucking money through for the pentagram, he'll fucking sign it in a heartbeat, okay? He won't hold up the Pentagon. He won't hold up the bombs and the bullets and the beans for Israel and for all the other troops that we supply around the world. So yeah, I don't know. Will Donald Trump cannot be taken for his word at this point. Okay, if he says it, it doesn't mean shit. All right. As Gerald Celente said, it's Trump shit. Okay. One of the things that how should I say this? Senate Minority Leader Schumer won't budge. A month ago, Trump said he won't sign any other legislation until the SAVE Act is passed. Okay? Trump has demanded the SAVE Act to be included in funding the Department of Homeland Security, which has been defunded for more than 7 weeks by Democrats who have blocked the funding, demanding reforms to immigration and customs enforcement deportation policies. No. Fuck no. Period. End of story. No. Okay? You may not like it, but tough shit. Yeah. I'm going to run out of wassa. Or tea, maybe. So anyway, will Trump not sign any bills until it gets to him? I don't know. I said before, I doubt it, okay? Here's the news article about the toilet paper fire. And hey, believe me, man, them talk about shit going up in flames. Hey, we're talking, we're talking big flames, man. Yeah. Okay, so if you can see the screen here, here's where the guy was setting the fire in the warehouse, man. All stacked up. Look, all toilet paper and paper towels on April the 7th, just 2 days ago, and This guy's name is, is not really. How American do you think this guy is? Now, nobody has yet said this guy is an illegal immigrant or on a green card or some shit like that, okay? Nobody has said that, all right? This is a third-party contractor, warehouse worker, okay? Arrested on suspicion of felony arson. All right. Dang it, what was his name? Shamail Abdullah Karim, age 29, an employee of a third-party distributor partner of, was it Kimberly Clark Distributions Center.
And you can see just
Here's
how
the,
much smoke firefighters
here's
are up
here's
against.
a little
It is
bitty fire.
completely
I
filling
mean,
the air
it's,
this morning here. The orange
wow.
glow has not let up. Now, this all started just after midnight, around 12:30. Ontario Fire quickly responding to the scene with more than 100
Ontario,
firefighters
California.
battling the flames at this warehouse, which we looked up, and the address came back to the company Kimberly Clark. If that sounds familiar, it's because that company specializes in paper-based personal care and hygiene products.
Yep.
Now, as far as what sparked the fire, here's the deputy chief moments ago.
This fire was very quickly identified as suspicious in nature. There was a subject of interest identified very early on in the incident. That subject has been arrested and has been taken to the Ontario Police Department, where he will be interviewed by detectives.
I saw it on the freeway. Yeah, and I was hoping and praying it wasn't my job. So it's going to affect us all the way
it's his
around,
job.
no matter how we look at it. Everybody that works here, it's just going to affect everybody.
Well, anyway, so yeah, that sucks. And the guy said, the guy was heard by other people and workers as he was setting these fucking flames. I mean, look, if I work in a paper warehouse and I see a motherfucker over there setting a pallet of shit on fire, that motherfucker is going down. I have to drive through him with a fucking forklift. He's going down, all right? He's going to try to stop him somehow, but it don't look like they did. It looks like they said, oh, shit. See ya. Anyway, the guy was complaining that they just didn't get paid enough to live. Thank you, Gavin Newsom. Yeah. Let's see. A Wisconsin city passed the nation's first anti-data center referendum. Is that going to mean a whole lot? Probably not, because of different zoning codes and other things that they cannot prohibit, even if they want to. That's the crux of the problem and the crux of the freedoms that we have. I mean, down here they want to limit you to how many chickens you have per acre without a rooster. That's utter bullshit. So yeah. What else we got here? Oh my God! I mean, what the fuck, women, ladies, please wake the fuck up. Just don't be injecting this fucking stupid shit into your body, okay? A model died from illegal liquid BBL. Big bootylicious or whatever, man. Anyway, what to know about the risky procedure that left Cardi B with the craziest pain she ever had? Well, there was an Instagram woman that has this tiny little waist, but has these 44 quadruple D's or whatever the fuck, something if she turns sideways in the grocery store, she's going to knock somebody out. Might probably be a little kid standing there saying, Mama. I'm sorry, I'm bad. But this girl is, this woman that died, She's age 34. She has hundreds of thousands of Instagram followers. Christina Ashton Goragami, okay? And she was getting one of these illegal injections, you know, and man, she's deader than hell. So be aware, I guess, is if you go to for a touch up, you know, just the Bronx native says hasn't been shy about dabbling in illegal butt injections. I mean, God, I bet you can order that fucking shit on Temu today. Yeah. That's a great idea. Everybody go to Temu and order your ass fat injection straight from China. I'm sure they got corpses lined up that they're sucking the fat out their ass and selling it to fucking idiots around the world. You know it's true. You know it's true. You know there's idiots everywhere. Oh, what about the woman that fucking drowned the guy in a fucking she was rebaptizing this guy, right? She drowned the motherfucker. That's the quickest baptism I've ever seen. He went straight from here to heaven in the baptismal pool, man. But evidently this woman was convicted of drowning this guy just recently. It's like, oh my God. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with people? Look, when you baptize somebody, you tell them to hold their breath, right? You got to hold their nose in some cases. And I've seen them put little swimmer plugs on their noses. Okay, already. But how can you fucking drown somebody saying, "Meet Jesus! Meet Jesus!" God bless, man. What the fuck is wrong with people? I mean, hey, that's an actual story. That's a true story, man. I am not lying. I wish it wasn't. I wish people weren't that fucking stupid on both ends of all the spectrums, or the people that say, I'm just going to try a little of this fentanyl. I'm going to try just a little of this, of this trank. And then we're going to go on a ride. We're going to drive, It's like, see you in the afterworld, I guess. God bless, man. What the fuck is wrong with people? But anyway, stay alive, stay sane, and stay sober. We'll be right back on Rev Radio. We're going to continue over on Rumble and all the other channels. But, hey, yeah, I mean, God, man, can you fucking... How in the fuck can somebody do that? Excuse me. I mean, get butt injections too? I mean, I guess they were all going after the Kim Kardashian, hoe look, Anyway, this is in Palm Beach, Florida, where she got her injections. Yeah, I mean, Vivian Alexander Gorez, 53, found involuntary manslaughter of the OnlyFans creator Gorky. Yeah, I mean, damn. I mean, what the fuck? And a lot of times these people are just going to like fucking AutoZone or maybe they're going to even order it online, because then you even have you have a less of a paper trail maybe. But you can order this stuff online, this silicone, and they're putting real like automotive silicone in some of these dumb fucking women. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, man? Well, here is the cognitive benefit of gardening. Of gardening. That's right, just a simple outdoor activity of gardening. Notice they say gardening, by yourself. gardening not with your significant other. As she's trying to rearrange the whole fucking garden and saying, well, you got to dig that up first, honey. Then you got to dig this up. No, wait a minute, you got to do this. Maybe that's gardening is like being alone in the woods and hunting, or being alone and fishing, out enjoying Mother Nature, instead of hearing whack, 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 whack. I mean, let's be... Hey, the cognitive benefits of peace and quiet, huh? Better quiet. Somebody might hear me. No, just kidding. I catch hell all the time. It's okay. What else we got going on around? Fitness fans, or can you look? If I'm going on a vacation, I'm not going on a runcation. Okay, yeah, a runcation. What the fuck? Man, there's people that go on boozecations, I guess. They get a busload of people, they go to the casino, and they get drunk as a motherfucker on the way and back and there. Now there's people that, say, well, yeah, man, I'm gonna take 30 days and I'm gonna run the Alcan. I don't know, that just came out, okay. That's a beautiful. If I was gonna go up a highway for scenery and stuff, the Alcan would be the one. Okay, I mean I've driven it once already, and it's beautiful. But can you imagine going so you could run a particular road course or a particular, you could stay in one place and run different tracks. Or run an itinerary of a run. I imagine, imagine if you're like a long distance runner. And so you went to Colorado and you had a whole itinerary. You go one place one day and you run. You go to the next place another day, you run. That's just too much running around. I mean, I know too many people. I do. I know too many people that have to take a vacation from the vacation that they just took, okay? Because their ass is fucking worn out from trying to do all the activities and jam everything in. Hey, take life every day, pieces at a time. And maybe you won't have that, some of that issue, okay? Yeah, in Maine, in the state of Maine, Shanna Bellows runs for governor on the whole basis of barring Donald Trump from the ballot. Yeah, I mean, wholly unconstitutional to start with, and listen, I mean, just go on, okay? I mean, just stop, please. Social Marxists and social liberals, that they said, man, damn, he was doing really good. He had 41%. 41, I think it was 41% approval rating for Mandami in New York City. Okay. I don't know. That means 59% disapprove. Okay. So yeah. They say Anthropic AI is too dangerous to release to the public. And the reason is because the AI was able to find security flaws at an unprecedented rate across the internet. In other words, Anthropic AI deployed by criminals would literally just break in almost anywhere and everywhere around the internet. Okay. Meanwhile, in Virginia, the Democrats are using Klan imagery to target black voters on the redistricting efforts. Yeah, civil rights rhetoric and images of Barack Obama are also being employed to persuade Virginians to gerrymander the state as if it's a fucking, as if it's a joke. They will cause a civil war here in Virginia. That's my my belief. I'm sorry, Rev Radio. I see you've been back, and I've ignored you. God bless you. Sorry about that. I do it too regularly, but anyway. Yeah, so lots of craziness going on pretty much everywhere as you know, these just where was I at? As it is going down, you know, Democrats want the extra House seats here in Virginia. They want it so bad that they're trying to get they're trying to have illegal immigrants and non-Americans vote in our state elections. Yeah, instead of throwing them out, you know, they're using them to gerrymander for a Democrat majority. So, yeah. The question is Pete Hegseth up on the chopping block next? I don't know. He will be, because it's just a natural evolution of what it is to be, you know, in an administration that comes in. So, yeah. The Catholic Pope Leo says, calls Trump's threat to destroy Iran unacceptable, to destroy the Iranian civilization. Yeah. So the pontiff has faced instant backlash from the Trump team. Did you know that? Yeah. Anyway, evidently, evidently Trump pushed straight back on the Pope, and you know, actually, kind of, some would say there was a report that said they threatened the Pope. Okay, so yeah, pro-Iranian hackers breached U.S. infrastructure. Feds say, the Feds, huh? Iranian cyber attacks targeting U.S. organizations have increased. And, you know, this morning, I did notice this morning that my internet connection last night and this morning earlier was somewhat spotty. It was dropping in and out. So there was some issues with the internet service providers. So I would suspect that there's ongoing cyber attacks right now. So yeah, I just say be aware. Meteorologists are now claiming that they're warning of a super El Nino event. 75% chance of superheated, supposedly superheated water across the equator, from South America to Indonesia. I guess that's going to drive a lot of weather to California. They need a lot of rain. Maybe they'll get it. Maybe they won't. Europe trying to create its own expand Europol to and the expansion of powers of it within the European Union. physically become part of every European state. This is something that is just the continual takeover of nations in Europe, step by step, by the United States and by the New World Order, which essentially, runs. God, it's a nasty little circle. The United States, Israel, the New World Order, World Economic Forum, dozen other entities, all latching it all together. It's not a good thing. J.D. Vance says Brussels' attempt to sway the Hungarian vote is the worst foreign election interference he's ever seen. Brussels, and let's not forget Ukraine. Let's not forget the United States. We are all interfering with all of their little fiefdoms that they're building. Okay? So, yeah. Trump's mulling a pullback of NATO troops, of U.S. troops in NATO. So, yeah. Understand that that the Brits and the French, the Italians, the Spanish, the Germans, I don't know who else, Austria, all said no to using their bases to attack Iran. I think even Turkey said no. Which, if the U.S. has reinserted its nuclear weapons to the Instruk Turkish air base, then that would be a mistake. But I don't know if they did or not. They had supposedly removed them. So Trump mulls punishing NATO allies by pulling out of Europe. And that means $1 trillion a year. That means bases closing. That means local economies crashing. And this is, Trump is trying to find ways to punish NATO allies. Are they your allies? And the question is, what should you and shouldn't you demand? And the realization of that North Atlantic Treaty Organization. It's not the North American Treaty Organization, as the New York Times foolishly published. A bunch of fucking idiots. Always remember that NATO was the Pentagon and the CIA control operation to control Europe. Okay? Now we have the European Union. The European Union is, well, essentially, a puppet on a string. That's all the European Union is. It's not on our string, it's on the New World Order string. It's, it's in the Rothschild realm of reality. Or property, maybe, is a good description. But yeah, Trump can pull those troops out, and it will further hurt the economies. And what will happen is Europe will pump in more immigrants because they are using the body count and the essentially the social services and the social systems to prop up their economies by bringing in illegal immigrants, even though these illegal immigrants and all these other people that they are essentially allowing in, most of the ones that they're allowing in, are detrimental to the fucking whole country. Anyway, so the U.S. has 84,000 troops stationed around Europe. The exact number varies depending on deployments and military exercises. U.S. bases in Europe serve a critical hub for U.S. Military operations around the globe. Yes, literally, understand this. These are economic boons to these countries and these zones that have U.S. bases. But anyway, I believed long ago we should have removed our troops. But remember, this is the only thing we really have to back the wars in Ukraine. The wars in the Middle East. We're using that all to. We're using that every day. That's what I would say. Okay. So yeah, it is sheer madness, the shit that these guys have strung out through the way. Exxon warns that it's $6.5 billion loss from the Iran war. First quarter earnings set to print slightly below the quote-unquote the consensus. Yeah, the oil prices went through the roof and they lost money. We're supposed to believe that. Okay. I don't believe they lose a dime. The only place they lose a dime is they make up dollars on the fucking tax side of it. It's just that true. Justice Department says that Russians Russia's GRU hacking network gained access to thousands of routers to steal data from the USA. Imagine that. I thought we had already talked about that, didn't we? I thought so. Senator Lindsey Graham urges a vote on Iran on approving peace, not war. Yeah, Lindsey Graham, look, truth is, Lindsey Graham should be in prison, okay? His what do you want to call it? His support of terrorists. Just because they're attacking the people that we want to attack, he believes in giving them guns and bullets and bombs, and I don't like Lindsey Graham, evidently. New financial iron curtain, taxes, capital controls, and the war on your health. Yeah. It'll all come in. Remember what they said Obamacare was? That Obamacare was a tax bill. Obamacare was about taxes. Not socialized health care systems. So yeah. Meanwhile, the truth is coming out, this perceptionized world that we live in, where this is hilarious shit, okay? Where polls done by AI on AI sites and using AI data is now fabricating what the public thinks. But has always been that way? The suggestive bots that we have before are nothing more than, the AI of the past. No different than essentially, having a newspaper read to you, where you're still just having that, you're getting all that input. And the simulation of this, of the world, of telling people the reality that they live in, even though they can see, they can understand, and they know a different reality than someone is trying to push. I see this all around me today. And and people say, well, you think differently, you look at things differently. Well, I'm just brutally honest. I mean, just be yeah, if you're not brutally honest with yourself, you really can't improve yourself, because you think you've already made it. You think you've already got it taken care of. And to question yourself is to question everything that you do. And that would be oh my God, that would undermine whoever you might be. But the truth is, if you question everything you do, that just really does make you stronger, because then you understand the rationale, and you understand why you're doing what you're saying, and the reality of this world that we're in. Let's see, where are we at here? Mexico. Mexican truckers are on a nationwide strike. Groups say that they needed to. That Mexican truckers are being robbed blind. That rising cargo theft, high diesel prices, and operating costs, deteriorating roads and infrastructure, and a lack of progress on agreements with the federal government regarding truckers in Mexico. I guess it's too much of a common sense to have a standard policy without having this rigged regulatory socialist policies of Mexico. Remember, social Marxism, aka maybe Catholicism, is the standard, in Mexico. Okay, I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying there are people all around the world that have different standards and different ideas. And some people want 10% of anything and everything. And some people are just like, God bless you. Yes, the roads, we need money for the roads. Pay what you can. Others don't. They don't care. Okay? What else we got going on here? A trader. There's been all of these different people that have cashed in, regarding when Trump started this war, when it was going to end, and when oil prices were going to crash or not crash. Or we have a guy that made 23 million in one day with a massive S&P call purchase hours before the ceasefire. So he put in a $12 million bid and on a bunch of blocks of oil, I guess. And you know what happened? The ceasefire, or calls, or what did he do here? Set stock. Okay, yeah, he bought stocks that were suppressed, not oil. And he, he cleaned up. And he bought in at a low price, and he said automatic sell at this level. And he came back with $35 million in the end. $23 million in profit with $12 million. I guess if you know when and where everything is going to change, I guess you can do that. But yeah. Well, there it is, a Blue Owl private credit stock. I've been talking about that private credit income corporation, okay, is, well, let's just say they're in serious trouble, okay, because everybody wants their money, and surging redemption requests. Outlook, Moody's put them to Outlook negative, which means some bank is going to have to buy them out, or they're going to go under, and it's probably 5 to $15 billion, worth of stuff, okay. Eric Swalwell, running for governor in California, is getting ready to be hit with a number of sexual harassment allegations. According to one report, anyone who's been in D.C. for 5 minutes knows that Eric Swalwell was essentially, fishing off the company pier and trying to catch gropers everywhere he could. I guess he was doing the groping. Yeah. So I guess he was hitting on everybody, the way they make it sound. Well, anyway. Remember, Congress just voted to hide the sexual exploits of their fellow congressmen. Okay? Remember that U.S. House just said no to the ethics committees releasing, all of the information on these, these sexual harasser, dirty deeded congressmen. Okay? Now, they did that for the race in Texas, in all honesty, for the most part. But, so yeah, it's sheer crazy stuff, okay? What else we got here? Oh, yeah, Anthropic withholds the latest model after it went rogue in testing. Launches a project called Project Glasswing to secure critical software. Yeah, I'd like to get a copy of those and train them in, my, in the alternative thought world, instead of, the golden shekel down world. So yeah, it's crazy, man. I'm telling you. Delta Airlines erases all Epic Fury losses as in-house refinery cushions the fuel shock. Delta best positioned to navigate the world of high fuel prices. So Delta evidently has their own refinery. Imagine that. Talk about vertical integration within your industry to save you money. Well, maybe that's what they needed to know, needed to see. Iran gives approved Hormuz shippers a few seconds to submit payment in Bitcoin, allowing Iran to essentially control the crucial waterway, likely to be highly unpalatable to the other Gulf states, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, and Kuwait. Okay? Just saying. The first two ships have moved through since the ceasefire was announced. Dun, 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 dun. Anyway, they're going to demand cryptocurrency. I don't know who will and who won't pay. And the question is, who will they blow up if they don't pay? And that's what's going to happen, right? With 800 ships trapped in the Persian Gulf, will Iran get $800 million? From $1 million in crypto from each ship? I don't know. So yeah, those are questions that still need to be answered. In all honesty, okay. Senate Democrats are looking at themselves and saying, the resistance isn't holding up too swiftly, okay? Yeah, they've been trying to figure out a way to win the midterm elections, but if Trump has a decent win with Iran, and all that, and the gas prices can come back down. Trump, by midterms, can still slide to Republicans. The problem is voter turnout in midterm elections. And that's what it boils down to. Okay. Evidence now has been determined that the Turk Stream sabotage attempt in September of 2022, when Ukrainians destroyed the Nord Stream pipeline. They were allegedly planning a double attack with another target being the Turk Stream pipeline, which was essentially from Russia to Turkey. Okay. And so they were going to try to blow that up also, but evidently that failed. I don't know why, but it failed evidently. Yeah. Brent, 15% as U.S. and Iran reach. Anyway, so Brent sees oils shipping oils below U.S. $95 a barrel. Should put us down closer to $3 a barrel, I hope, but you never know. Kraken Robotics is demonstrating their next generation submarine warfare and new generations of technology, where they're using drone boats to essentially, in places where Iran can reach out and touch them. Also, word that Trump was they were bombing the Karj Island again. So yeah, I don't know what anybody is going to do, because the truth is every time Trump has said we give you this many days to do whatever, to negotiate, somewhere in the middle of those negotiations they hit an inflection point and they go right back to war. So yeah. Will they be able to stop any of this? I don't think so. Like I said before, because of Israel. The unicorn Hermes raises $350 million for unmanned supersonic fighter jets. So yeah, jets, drone jets and stuff, that's coming reality. U.S. scientists have cracked a superconductor code. Zero energy loss moves closer to reality. And this is really, I say, closer to reality than I can believe in this lifetime of mine. Okay, I didn't think I'd see this kind of a breakthrough, in all honesty. Anyway, so superconducting materials, which used to have to be down to hundreds degrees below zero before any material we had would allow electricity to move through it without resistance. Okay, they have gotten that temperature up to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Superhydrides can become superconducting at much higher temperatures, 10 degrees Fahrenheit, which, I'm just saying, that's possible, or that's more probable, okay? So forming a so forming the material at a high pressure and high temperature. Used high energy X-rays to study its structure and beam lines. Wow. Focused intense X-ray beam on a sample only a few micrometers thick and about 10 to 20 micrometers across. Anyway, 1 micrometer is about 1/70th of a width of a hair, human hair. I don't know if that's a red hair, but a human hair. I always heard red hairs were, thicker, but I don't know. Rumors and stupid things people say. So yeah, man, really, these the world that we live in is so technologically driven today. It's crazy. Trump warns of action if Iran fails to uphold the ceasefire. But optimism persists as bombing largely subsides. Really, I don't know who the fuck these clowns think they are. But, you can't tell Iran that, you can't attack those other nations. But Israel can attack those other nations that they choose. Sorry. That wasn't the understanding of what it all was headed. Now, the J.D. Vance is going to, I guess he is going to Pakistan. So there are some people that said that's a bad idea. Too many crazies and stuff in Pakistan. The Artemis II astronauts prepare for re-entry splashdown. Targeting a splashdown in the Pacific Ocean about 8:05 p.m. on April the 10th. That's tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. I guess they'll parachute in. Hopefully, that all that structure and everything, I still don't know why they didn't at least carry a couple cargo vessels or a couple cargo a couple cargo bays of some stuff, to the moon. They could position it in orbit, or they could, guide it down and land it. I'm just saying it just seems just like a waste, even though it was only $4 billion. And they had more passengers than the California rail system, which I think there's 160 billion in that now, and number of miles traveled. 600,000 miles, for the Artemis project, and 0 miles for California rail. And that's been in plan since 1997. Let's be honest. It is just another one of those scam programs that they got fucking going on in the world today. And these people don't give a flying shit, man. They will. It's unbelievable. It is. It is unbelievable. What we got going on today. Okay. They say to detox your brain after 10 years of social media damage. I thought they said, that was all information and news, and it wasn't, No, listen, social media is brainwashing. It's mind washing, more than rinsing, I guess is a good description, than anything else. Because remember, you have to break down somebody's belief systems or what somebody believes before you can get them to grasp onto some kind of other theory or another idea. So yeah, hey, maybe that would be a cool deal. Maybe I can get Maybe I can buy a house in Spain. Yeah, that would be a good deal, huh? Home purchases in Spain by U.S. citizens rose 3% last year. Even the total of foreign purchases dipped in Spain. Spain going deep socialist. I don't even want to use the word blue, but hot communist red maybe. Red's the largest foreign buyers in Spain, but yeah. Anyway, so they just want to have a permanent escape backup plan to Trump's policies. That's why some Americans, they say, are buying. $380 a square foot, 29% or more paid, average paid by foreign purchasers. Swedes and Germans and Brits and Americans seem to be those that are attempting to move to Spain. Is better on the other side of the fence? I really don't think so at this point. I mean, the fence is completely fucked, isn't it? I mean, in reality, it's gone. Colorado's tourism slogan, "It's our nature," has a menacing meaning for a free speech, meaning that you really can't attack somebody else's social or political views without landing in some kind of legal hot water today. It is. I'm sorry. It is sheer madness. Okay, I gotta sleep 8 hours, and then prepare for 2 hours, and then now I'm burned out. I gotta go to sleep. Pam Bondi has told Congress, "Fuck you, man! I just got fired. I'm a private citizen now. I am not coming back and gonna talk to you fucking clowns in Congress." Everybody else that's not a public figure, pretty much, has told them to get fucked. So Pam Bondi says, "Nope, I'm not." House Democrats have threatened to hold Pam Bondi in contempt if she doesn't testify in boring shit. The Epstein probe. That's right. Pam Bondi cannot escape accountability because she no longer holds the office of Attorney General, Democrats whined. Yeah, sure. I mean, really. Anyway, if she doesn't testify before the House as part of its ongoing investigation into the sex offender, Mossad, CIA, FBI, Rothschild, partner in crime. Yeah. I mean, why can't they say Jeffrey Epstein Mossad files? It just covers it right there, because the FBI is like a little bitch compared to the Mossad. I mean, really. The CIA is probably over there in Tel Aviv, cuckling the fucking Mossad's balls right now. Bunch of fucking assholes. Democrats and several Republicans have accused her of violating the Epstein Files Transparency Act through the Justice Department's piecemeal release of documents and for the alleged redacting of co-conspirator names while leaving some names, some names there and some names redacted. Listen, everybody's name must be put out there. I don't give a fuck if it's Trump. I don't give a fuck if it's God itself. Okay? particularly if it's the Rothschilds or some bunch of bastard motherfuckers like that. I'm just saying. Enough is enough is enough is enough, okay? We have to burn down the pedophile, Satanist, fucking government structure that we have going on today. I don't give a fuck if it burns the world down. Well, should the world exist in such corruption? Of course not, okay? Of course not. And we're led by these satanic, bloodthirsty motherfuckers, okay? So yeah, I mean, I guess you got to, I guess what you say, hell's coming. Hell's coming because the world's got to pay for the fucking sins that it's committed, okay? That's a bad truth, but that's what's coming down the road. People may not like it, but there you have it, okay? So, yeah. Pam Bondi, yeah, I don't care. Send her to fucking prison. I'm okay with that, too. Send Trump to prison. But we got to send Obama and Pedo Joe to prison. But we could put Joe Biden in prison. He'd just think he's visiting. He wouldn't even know from day to day. It's that's sad. Okay, that's politically sad. All right. Trying to see if there's anything anything big or important that I might have missed. Yeah, of course, the 9/11 hijackers, when they were talking on the radio, for some reason they were talking in Hebrew. Gee, imagine that. And I was fucking surprised there, huh? If there were planes. Planes don't collapse like they said they do, right? Yeah. Meanwhile, the world is going crazies. And, there's some... maybe I shouldn't play this next clip, but you know me. Let's have at it. Yeah, some people don't even know they will be among the lucky ones, the lucky 2,800 slaves for every Jew. You can't make this retarded fucking shit up, okay? A Jewish scholar claiming that, it's idiocracy. Here it is.
Не нравится, что он будет в числе 2800 врагов. Тебе это не нравится, не будешь. Тебя просто прикончат. Честь удостоится быть в 2800.
There's a lot more of us than them motherfuckers.
Это ни в коем случае нельзя испытывать негативных чувств к еврею, никакой ненависти.
There's a lot more of us than them
Понимать,
motherfuckers.
что это народ Бога, который...
This fucking clown, they'd be all fucking dead. I mean, I don't give, fuck them. I'm not their slave, never will be their fucking slave, and come and try to enslave me, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Please come. Please try to enslave us so we can have a reason to fucking put you out of this world and you can go straight back into the pits of hell. I mean, really, what the fuck is wrong with people? I mean, really? Alex Jones was opining about some stuff the other day, and I said, "Oh my God, more, these people are a bunch of evil fucking bastards, man." And they're always trying to figure out a way to manipulate me and you. And whether it's, people can, if enough people resist the mainstream brainwashing, They don't have a chance because they can only brainwash. There's only certain section of the population that is gullible in a certain way. You know, Democrats gullible on the gay and lesbian, trans, and the socialism thing, okay? And there's a certain people, groups on the right, you know, but as long as you have a 40% of people in the middle that want freedom, that say, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Fuck you on this side, fuck you on that side. You know, we're libertarians, basically, okay? We just want to live our lives and say, fuck you on the left and fuck you on the right, and our freedoms are God-given, and you can't take them away even if you think you can. So what do? Oh, they try to figure out a way to get it going down. So what's the new, you know, the biotechnology stuff, of course. Nanoparticles and DARPA and everything else. And, well, here it is, Alex Jones. Alex Jones says, did he want to believe it or not want to believe it? I'm not sure. But here it is.
All that talk you heard about 5G interfacing with the shots, it's true. DARPA research and the operational programs to infect us with remote controllable prion clusters in the brain before they even rolled out COVID. I just got chills. This is so evil. I mean, this is how you take over. You colonize people. You implant everybody with these, whether you've had the shot or not. It's everywhere. You get these proteins growing in you. They hit you with the frequency, and it looks like you died of a stroke. Man, this is bad. All over your brain, hit you with it. Bzzz, crystals grow in the next few days, cut through arteries, cut through veins, cut through capillaries, stroke out. Or he says we can just hit them with a light dose and just fog everybody out and make them sick where they can't think straight. We're not in Kansas anymore, okay? We're in hell. All that talk you heard about 5G.
We're in hell, but you can stop it. As long as you burn marijuanas, you can stop the brainwashing. Well, that's my personal opinion. Hey, that is my personal opinion. If you smoke weed, if your mind is open enough to smoke weed, and you can smoke something, and you can dive into different topics, and you can divorce yourself from your own hardcore belief system, and you can ask yourself, man, what if? But you have to do that. You have to do that in today's brainwashed world. Because if you sit and you look at ABC, NBC, CBS, fake Fox News, if you read the New York Times or the Washington Post or any of the other legacy Mockingbird media groups of news and organization outfits, or deeply, into social media, the social media bots and the brainwashing, the positive, negative reinforcements, the adrenaline and the endorphins and everything else that you get from, like, on the internet, from memes and all that stuff. Understand that all that stuff is brainwashing you. In some cases, it's rinsing out what they want you, the truth, and they are trying to replace it with some other data and information. We are living in this age of this MK Ultra media war. It is a war for your brain, and you have to unplug and understand. I guess the best way I would understand it is, think of the internet today as the fucking cartoons in the 1960s that we watched when we grew up, okay? When we watched the Bugs Bunny and Roadrunner, and we watched a Wile E. Coyote get fucking look like a fool, okay? Got Elmer Fudd, and You got the rooster, whatever, Floghorn Cock, whatever his name was, okay? We knew that that was fake, okay? Very, very few people mistook that for reality. People need to understand that the internet is just like those fucking 1960s cartoons. It is entertainment. It is some informational value, yes. But for the most part, and the way most people use the internet, it is not as a resource. It is for recreation. So keep that in mind, that as people get so deeply ingrained into social media, that they are being brainwashed by algorithms. And what I have found, because I like to listen, I have background stuff I listen to while I do other stuff, and I listen to these different stories on YouTube, and YouTube has kept me in the squared box. They literally are trying to repeat the same fucking stories as if they are new. And if I wasn't paying attention, if I didn't, realize and think about the plots and everything else, I wouldn't know and understand that all I'm seeing is a repetition of the same stuff. I'm not seeing new information, new stories, new genres of music, new genres of this. No, you're not. They keep you in a cycle, and they feed you that same loops of information. And if you wonder how Democrats become, have Trump derangement syndrome, understand that what happens is they have a physical malformation. They have a physical thing that happens to them when they hear the word Donald Trump or see or hear in a video. Remember, there are people that believe things so strongly that they will act in those beliefs. A lot of times here in the United States, we gave everybody our freedoms. We didn't act as the uncivilized retards that we are reflecting now in the Middle East. And, this division is being used by the world and the New World Order and everything else. It's a bunch of sick, stupid shit. It really, really is. But craziness is here. And unless you disengage, unless you step back and look, you will be played. You will be used by others in words and minds and traps and psychological warfare like you have never seen before. So be aware and think. That's what I would tell everybody. If it stinks, it probably stinks. Anyway, Rev Radio, take care, guys. We'll see you. I'm waving the Rev Radio when I'm just talking to him. Sorry about that. We'll see you tomorrow with Crazy Ass Fridays on Revolution Radio. I will wrap up here real quick over here on Rumble, but thanks everybody. Yeah, they need to reinstate the Smith-Mundt Act. There is no fucking doubt about that. I dated a Jewish girl once, Flippy. Yeah, that's a story for another time. While I'm blushing, I'm gonna leave that. You guys take care. God bless. Good day. and good luck. Tell them, baby. Woof, woof.